I mean, what am I capable of? I'd like to think that I'm a nice person, but I don't know, man. A lot of it is context. There's a lot of things I wonder if the world was different. Like if murder was legal, I might have killed a few people. I don't know. I'd love to think, oh, I would never do that. But we really need the law against murder. For one simple reason. The law against murder is the #1 thing preventing murder. We'd like to think it's because, like, oh, I would never do that. No, it's because it really sucks getting caught murdering. A lot. If murder was legal, or just a misdemeanor, like you get a thing in the mail, ah, shit, they had a camera there. Oh, well. If murder was legal, there would be so much murder. Regular people would murder. Murderers would murder even more. And then really nice, sweet people would murder a few people. But nobody would murder no people. You wouldn't trust somebody who didn't murder. If murder was legal, you wouldn't like them. I never killed anybody. Okay, nice meeting you. Ugh. What a creep. I mean, not even a hooker? Live a life. What's wrong with that guy? He's like a Mormon or some shit. I hate those guys. I think he's nice. Shut up, Janet. It would just... If murder was legal, there would be a lot of murder. Children would behave very differently. Because mostly parents would be murdering their own kids. That's mostly what would happen if murder was legal. You'd be, you know, you go to a mall, there'd be like 8 different moms in the mall just, I told you to stop it! You didn't listen to me, just... There'd be just, you'd be stepping over dead kids. It would be like a new problem. You have to clean up your kids when you kill them, because it's gross. It's bad for the environment. If you murder your child in a public place, please use one of the red bags that are in the dispensers every 3 feet of America. Put your murdered child in the red bag with a logo of a murdered kid on it, next to the other logo that tells you not to let your alive kid play with a plastic bag because they might suffocate, in which case you could just leave them in the bag. That is a whole bunch of horrible thoughts right in a row. Right in a row. That is a compressed area of bad thought. I don't know. I like getting older, though. Life is an education, and if you're older, you're smarter. I just believe that. If you're in an argument with somebody and they're older than you should listen to them. It doesn't mean they're right. It means that even if they're wrong, their wrongness is rooted in more information than you have. They've been here longer. If you're older, you're smarter. How many people here by applause are 45 or older? 45 or older, applaud. Okay? That's about 60 people out of 2,400. Here's the interesting thing. There's way more. I can see you. There's so many more. This is Arizona. There are way more people in that demographic, but they didn't clap. Why? Because they're smart. They're sitting in the dark going, I don't have to clap. I don't have to do anything. They're not doing it. And they're right. You know why? Because never identify yourself. Never. Are you crazy? You don't know why I'm asking. How do you know what I'm... Okay, burn them all. Burn everybody over 45. How do you know I'm not going to do that? How many people here by applause are 40 or younger? 40 or younger, applaud. That's every time. Woo! Woo! Every time. That is a weird thing to celebrate in a room where you're not the only people here. That's like going to a cancer ward. Not me. Woo! I don't have it. I don't have it. If you're older, you're smarter. A 55-year-old garbage man is 1,000,000 times smarter than a 28-year-old with 3 PhDs. Especially smarter than him. Because this idiot has been thinking about 3 things for like 15 years. He's worthless. The garbage man is 55. He's had some experience. Things have happened to him. He went to Cape Cod one summer. He saw a dead guy floating in the motel pool. He took a bus to Montreal. He got a hand job at a fair from a miner. I mean a minor. Not a minor, a minor. You understand? A minor. A grown man who works in a mine with dirty hands jacked him off at a county fair. That's what I'm saying happened to the 55-year-old. You see? He's had some experience. He knows more. More has happened to him. He's seen more. He's seen history. He's witnessed history, even if it's not ancient history. He saw Nixon resign on live television. Me and those few people that clapped, we saw the president of America cry and then quit being the president. That shit was crazy. Because none of us knew what was going to happen next. Today, people are like, the president's kind of disappointing. Really? Our president wept like an insane person and then got in a helicopter and flew away. And the whole nation just watched him go. And I've wasted a lot of time just being angry at people I don't know. You know, it's amazing how nasty we can get as people, depending on the situation. Like, most people are okay, as long as they're okay. But if you put people in certain contexts, they just change. Like, when I'm in my car, I have a different set of values. I am the worst person I can be when I'm behind the wheel, which is when I'm at my most dangerous. When you're driving, that's when you need to be the most compassionate and responsible of any other time in your life, because you are fucking driving a weapon amongst weapons. And yet it's the worst people get. And I am the worst. One time I was driving, and there was a guy ahead of me, and he kind of, I don't know, he sort of drifted into my lane for a second, and this came out of my mouth. I said, worthless piece of shit. I mean, what an indictment. What kind of a way is that to feel about another human being? Worthless piece of shit. That's somebody's son. And things I've said to other people. I was once driving, some guy in a pickup truck did, I don't know, remember even, and I yelled out my window. I said, hey, fuck you! Where outside of a car is that even nearly okay? If you were in an elevator and you were like right next to a person's body and whatever, like he leaned into you a little bit, would you ever turn right to their face and go, hey, fuck you? Worthless piece of shit. No. Literally 0 people would ever do that. But put a couple of pieces of glass and some road between you, there's nothing you would not say to them. I hope you die. I said that to a person. I hope you die. Why? Because you made me go like this for half a second of my life. You tested my reflexes and it worked out fine! So now I hope your kids grow up motherless! I live in New York City, and It's okay there. I live in a nice building. I never lived in a nice place before. When I was growing up, I had no money. I mean, my mom didn't. Didn't matter. I was a child. But I'm not used to it because it's nice. There's like a pretty courtyard with flowers and a fountain with little marble boys pissing. I don't know. What is it with fountains? Like, all fountain sculptors are pedophiles, basically. You can't get a fountain made without... Can you make me a fountain? Yes, I'll get started right away. Oh, yes! Yes! It's finished! And it's just little boys pissing on the face of a Greek god that looks like him a lot. It's piss on me forever! Anyway, there's one of those in the courtyard of my building. And my first week in the building about a year ago, I went down to the courtyard for the first time. And I didn't look too good, you know? It was a Sunday morning. That's my least presentable hour. There's a lot of, just stains, just like, food and me and whatever. And so I'm sitting there. So, shut up. Oh. Anyway, so there I was. I'm sitting on the stone bench of this courtyard and feeling a little out of place. There's these fancy doormen and stuff. And then there's this guy looking at me. I notice he's looking at me from across the courtyard. And he's all spiffy looking. He's got brown shoes and he's looking at me like, I could tell he was thinking I don't live in the building. He thinks I just wandered in off the street and sat in the courtyard. I could tell he's thinking of coming over and dealing with me on his own. And I'm sitting there thinking like, oh, please do that. Yes, please, come on. And I'm trying to look even more gross. And I'm like, pulling up my shirt. And then I see him go, oh, no, that's not gonna do at all. And he comes over to me. And I'm like, I'm so excited to have this thing. The confrontation where I'm not wrong at all. And he thinks I am. So he comes over, says, excuse me, do you live in this building? And I said, no. Because why not start there? I said, no. He goes, well, then what are you doing here? And I said, I just need to rest. I'm having a hard time. He says, this is private property. And I said, well, I don't really believe in that. Just the worst things I could say from his point of view is basically all the things I was saying. And he goes, well, if you don't leave, I'm going to talk to the doorman. I was like, can I just stay like 5 more hours? So he's, no, and he goes over to the doorman. And I see him talking about me to the doorman like this. And then I see the doorman going, oh, no, that guy lives here. That's okay. And the look on his face, it was just so, this beautiful cocktail of anger and confusion. It's like I had invented a new way to hurt somebody's feelings. That's how excited I was. I was on a plane once and there was 2 babies on the plane and other people. It wasn't just me and 2 babies. That would be weird. You're going somewhere, you get on the plane, there's just 2 babies. They're just standing there. Come on, we're leaving. He's the pilot baby. I'm the other baby. No, that's right. I'm not gonna get on the plane. No, you babies have a good flight. I'm gonna find another way to get there. I don't like the way this flight is starting. All right, here's a real story. I was on a plane. There were two babies on a plane. They were both crying. I don't think they knew each other. They just were both crying. I've been on a lot of planes with crying babies, and I started to wonder, is there a reason the babies cry in planes? And I looked it up. It turns out there is a specific reason why babies cry in airplanes, and it's because they're upset that gay people are getting married. Yeah. And I don't agree with them. I think if you're in love, you should do whatever you want. I don't think these babies should be trying to force their values on other people. But they don't get it. They're babies. They're being babies. I have two children, and they've both been babies on planes crying. I've held a crying baby on a plane more than once. And I see people get upset, and my sympathy for them is pretty marginal. Because when people are so selfish, when a baby starts to cry on your plane, you feel like that's happening to you. Like, this is gonna ruin my flight. Well, take a look at the parent. Because this is somebody who's holding a crying baby right on their own face. Okay, which means, by the way, they've been traveling with a baby all day. Which means, by the way, they have a baby. So their life isn't even good. They don't like anything. Nobody that has a baby likes anything anymore. They just walk around, okay, fine, shit. People are like, it's beautiful, yeah, whatever, yes. Yeah. The only joy in a baby haver's life is when it's crying on a plane and it's now bothering other people. Yeah, you listen to this shit for a minute. Wah! I used to walk around the plane. Yeah, huh? Wah! What are you, 20 years old? Listen to this shit. Wah! People look at you when your baby's crying. They look right at you like, I fucking love it. I love it. I love when they do that. I'm like, hi. Yeah. I remember this one time, businessmen are amazing because when they fly, they feel like the whole plane is their private plane that we all glommed on or something. This guy's reading the Wall Street Journal and my baby's crying, my baby's so upset. And the guy looks right at me, right in the face, like, Like, could ya? What? Oh, I'm sorry, is this bothering you? Let me just... You all just clap for a dead baby. I used to be a very critical person. I don't get upset at other people's actions as much as I used to, you know? And one thing that's made me not so critical is reading things on the internet of people getting so angry at each other, like people that write long articles about how mad they are at a thing that people sometimes do. And the articles are very long. Because they don't have to be short anymore. I think newspapers were a little better because you had to be careful. Like, we only have this much room to tell about a whole war. So you have to be really artful about it. And then anybody who wants the job to write that much has to be really fucking good. But the internet is forever. So you just come and you go, I want to write a story about how trees are annoying. Totally, just fucking do it, I don't care. Just write 7 years about it. And the headline to the articles are always something like, it's a whole sentence. It's not like, why trees or something provocative. It's like, I don't like trees that much, and I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm just sort of sick of them. So that's what this article is about, and I have to pee. Hold on a second, I'll be right back. Okay, I peed. Hi, everybody. Here's the article. But anyway, I was reading this one about a guy who was really upset about people taking pictures of their food at restaurants. And it was one of those where he's like, can we stop with the taking pictures of your fucking food? If I get another Instagram of a fucking appetizer, it's ruining America. I'm like, let her take a picture of her food. Let her do it. She's eating alone. She's by herself. I eat alone all the time. And I'm always eating next to people. If you're eating alone, you're always eating next to people that are together. And by the way, if you're ever with somebody at dinner and there's a person sitting alone right here, they're with you. They are in your conversation. They're just looking straight ahead at what? At nothing. You really think they're just boo? They just, every word you say, they're just gathering it. So anyway, I was at a restaurant and I was listening to these two young women that were talking. And they were about 20 years old, maybe NYU students. And one is telling the other about the guy she's dating. And she's telling her all the unsatisfactory things about the guy. She's like, I don't know, sometimes I text him, and he doesn't text back right away. And then when he does, it didn't have anything to do with what I wrote. I'm like, why do you even write me? And then I went to see him, and he was just being weird. And then he wrote me, I'm sorry I'm being weird. It's weird right now. And I was like, I didn't even say anything. Why are you even saying anything? It just sounds like when he writes to me that he doesn't really think about what I would want to hear. It just seems like it's just always just. So I'm listening to this because I'm interested in what her friend's gonna say. I want to know what kind of friend she has. So after a while, her friend says to her, well, he's just a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. And the thing is that you're amazing. You're amazing, and he just can't handle it. And I thought, this is not a good friend. Because give your friend something useful. Well, maybe you're a bummer sometimes. Maybe you bummed him out because you're a boring bummer. Is that possible? Let her consider that. It doesn't help a person to walk around thinking, I'm amazing. And anybody who doesn't text me back right away just can't handle how amazing I am. There's some other NYU kid walking around telling his friends, I'm dating this girl and I can't handle how amazing she is. It's too much. I try to text her back, but I'm I can't, she's too amazing. I just can't handle it. I wish she was less amazing. How is she amazing, by the way? She's 20. You can't be amazing yet. If you're 20, unless you have some missing limbs, you're not amazing. I mean, what is she, Nelson Mandela already? She's a fucking kid. You're amazing the way you take those classes. You don't need to walk around thinking that you're amazing. That doesn't help you. It's not a healthy thing. I mean, self-love is a good thing, but self-awareness is more useful to the rest of us if you can master that. Because it's nice to walk around saying to yourself, I'm amazing, I'm incredible, but really, once in a while, you should say to yourself, maybe I'm a bummer. Maybe I'm a boring bummer. If you don't think that to yourself at least twice a week, you're a psychopath. Because everybody's capable of becoming a bummer. Of course we are. Everybody is. Once in a while you drift over and you realize, oh, fuck, I'm kind of a douche right now. And you reset your sights. You have to consider the possibility. It's like when you say to a friend of yours, sometimes a friend of yours will be an asshole. He becomes an asshole. And you tell him, hey, man, you're an asshole. And he's like, no, I'm not. Well, that's not up to you. That's up to everybody else if you're an asshole or not. You don't get to just say no to that. You're an asshole. No, I'm not. Oh, sorry. Well, I'm glad I checked. Self-awareness is not a great American trait. As a country, we just want what we want, and then we just do shit. America is like a shitty girlfriend. It really is. America is like the worst girlfriend the whole rest of the world ever had. Because whenever something bad happens to America, she remembers it forever. Like it just happened. But if she does anything wrong, she's like, what? I didn't do it. What are you talking about? I didn't do that. But you killed hundreds of thousands of people in the Middle East. Yeah, but 9/11, okay? You don't even know. Assholes. Yeah, but there's this wedding in Yemen and you killed all these. Yeah, but 9/11 still. But now you're torturing people. It wasn't even torture. Oh my God. He's such a baby. And I'm saying this about women because I'm a guy. I'm the opposite sex. So that's how I'm sure women feel that way about guys. It's just the way it works. That's how we feel about each other sometimes. You know, it's like sexism and racism are very different, I think. Because racism is just like a mistake. Racism has no basis in anything. It's just a weird mistake we made it somewhere along the line, and I'm sure we'll get rid of it at some point. But sexism ain't going anywhere. Because as wrong as sexism is, it's down deep, and it's wired in with lust and love. And when we get mad at you, we get mad at all you. Just, oh, women! 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 Oh, women! Women! Oh, women! And you're like, men, 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 man, 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 man. All right, you guys, get home safe. Thanks a lot for coming. Good night. Thank you very, very much. I had to talk to my kids about death recently because our dog died. So I had to tell them, you know, it's a sad thing when your dog dies and you got to tell the kids. I mean, you got to tell them. You got to tell them at some point. You can't just keep going. Wait, there he goes. What? Wait. Oh, wait a minute, he was right here. Where'd he go? That little scamp. He's a quick one. Go after him. There he goes. It's a sad thing when you got to tell your kids that the dog is dead, but I had to tell them. And you know what? I was proud of them. I was proud of them how they owned their feelings about it. They cried. They talked about the dog. And I thought, you know what? This was a positive thing. That's how you start thinking as a parent. It's sad that your dog died, but it was an opportunity. You get to talk about death with the kids. It's like a dry run for grandma. It is. It is, and it's a positive thing. And if you're a parent, you have to view it that way. It's a good thing. Your dog dies, you get to deal with death with your kids. And then whatever, like a few months later, you're like, so you know all that stuff we talked about? About the dog? Yeah, so grandma now. All the same stuff. All right, you got it? Okay, I'm going out. Good night. I had a dog when I was a kid. My dog hated me. It was one of the saddest things about my life. I wanted a dog so badly. I was about 10 years old, and I begged my mother for a dog. And she didn't want to give me one because I was a messy, shitty little kid. She said, if we get a dog, it's going to be disgusting in here, because it's already disgusting because you're a smelly, disgusting little boy. She didn't say all that. But that's how she looked at me my whole childhood. So one day my mother finally said to me, I'm gonna make a deal with you. She said, you can get a dog if you keep your room clean for 1 month. And I was like, hallelujah, I'm getting a dog. I told everybody at school, I'm getting a dog, because I knew I was gonna get a dog, because all I had to do was clean my room for 1 month. So I cleaned my room, I kept it clean for about 2 weeks, and then it just went to shit. It was disgusting. There was just shit smeared on the walls. It was gross. Then I tried again, 3-4 days maybe, fucking horrible again. And I remember thinking, I'm 10 years old and I already know my life is gonna be horrible because I can't do a thing to get a thing. I should kill myself right now. And finally my mom was like, well, get a dog. Jesus, you're bumming everybody out. So she got us a dog, and the dog hated me. And it hurt because I took care of the dog. I was very kind to the dog, but he hated me, so he must have just hated who I am inside. And you could tell how he felt because he was a very expressive dog. He was a terrier, you know, he had eyebrows. He had a very expressive face. I would walk in the room and the dog would go like, oh, fuck, I can't. I gotta go. Doggy. We'd go for walks and I had to use a leash and I didn't want to use the leash. I want to be one of those cool guys with a dog that just comes along. Hey, dog, come on. You know, it's always some guy with like a suede jacket and scruffy hair. He's got an old pickup truck. And he gets in and he goes, go dog, and he goes, you know those guys that can whistle, that cool whistle that I can't whistle? Woo! Or whatever. And the dog jumps in. And they both get laid somewhere because this guy is so cool. That's what I wanted. But I would walk my dog and I had to have a leash, and the leash was like taut. It wasn't even like, we're cool, we're friends. It was like, how far can I get my face from this child? He would choke himself the whole walk. I can't. I hate you. I hate you. And if I ever stumbled and dropped the leash, he was like, he was gone. He would go, I'm not your dog. And he would run like a slave. He would just disappear. That's how he ran. It's an apt description. I'm just being accurate. He didn't run like a deer. This is how deers run. My dog ran like this. He ran away about 20 times. And then we get a call from the dog pound. Hi, we have your dog. You can hear my dog in the background going, don't. Fuck. Shit. Fucking kid's gonna come back and get me. Hello, everybody. Hello. 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 Hi, Elias. Oh, hello. Hello to you people over here. I'm just gonna do the whole show to you. Yeah. Wouldn't that be awesome? Fuck them. Fuck all of you. Hi, you guys are cute. Hi. I'm gonna talk like this the whole show. Is that okay? I just like to do a totally offensive stereotype of a Mexican. There's a Mexican at the border. Just let me in! Jesus. They won't let us. You guys are dicks in there! Fuck you, America. Yeah. I don't know what he said. I was on an airplane, and we were about to take off, and the flight attendant comes on and he says, folks, we have a special announcement. Our pilot, Captain Davis, this is his last flight. Yeah, you don't have to tell us. You can keep that to yourself. I'm not excited. Guess what? You're on the bleeding edge of his competence. He can barely do this anymore. His hands are shaking like crazy. We're gonna make him stop after this one more time with you. We live in an interesting time, you know, because you can be on a plane, you're one person on an airplane out of 200 passengers or whatever, and you're sitting on the flight, and you're 30,000 feet in the air in the middle of the flight. If you just decide to do this, you just sit there and you just start going, Mwah! 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 Seriously, if you start doing that on an airplane and then don't stop doing it, they will land the plane. You can will a plane to the ground without a weapon or a threat. You don't even need to do that much. You can just sit there, you just start saying, down, down, down. Seriously, if you're on an airplane and you just start saying the word down at slightly above conversational volume, down, down. Sir, is there a problem? Down, down. A squadron of F-16s will appear in the window, and they will force the plane to the ground. And you'll be in a lot of trouble. I guess, but how much? What can they really do to you? They can't make you go to prison because you said the word down several times. Sir, why'd you do that? You're a terrorist? No, I just didn't like up at the moment. And so
I said the word opposite, so I just felt like it. So, you didn't have to do it. You guys are fucking weirdos. People complicate this life shit. You know? Folks get all twisted up trying to figure out their life. I don't know what to do with my life. You know? Just like I don't know, like, what do I do? Like, with my life. You know? Just put food in here. That's it. That's it. Walk around and look for food. Just look for food. Anytime you see any food, just take it and put it in your mouth. Then, when you feel pressure in your ass, shit out the shit inside of your ass. If anybody tries to stop you from doing either of those two things, murder them. Do that until your body stops doing things. And then you're dead. I wonder how long I'm gonna live. Sometimes I wonder, like, how old am I gonna get? You never get to find out. You never get to know how long you lived. Everybody else knows except for you. Because you never get to say, okay, I'm dead, so 85. You don't get to have that thought. You never get to think, that's it, I'm done. You get to think, this is your last thought. You get to think, this is probably it. That's everybody's last thought. This totally feels like it's it right here. Most people get to be 80. That's the average lifespan of an American. But we've got medical technology and research that we're putting in to make it go longer. We would like to live longer, wouldn't we? We'd like to live to 85. 5 more years. Wouldn't that be great? Well, let's be clear what you're getting there, though. You're getting 5 more years of life at the end. They go at the end. They don't shove over the old years and stick 5 cool new young years in the middle. You don't get new. Now I get to be 28, 29, and also 20 flidgetees and plenty of shitting to the boo. No, you get to be almost dead for 5 more years. You get to be like, uncomfortably old. That kind of old where you don't even have a wallet anymore. Where's my wallet? Where are you going? What are you talking about? We threw your wallet away years ago. What, are you gonna go to the diarrhea store? You got plenty of free diarrhea here. I thought I had COVID about 3 times. I'm one of those idiots. I was like, I think I have it. Can you feel? I'm bad with pain, too. Like the other day, I hit my elbow right on that spot where if I had a gun, I'd be dead now. You know, I can't do pain. That's why I could never be a cop. I couldn't walk around with a gun right here. There's 50 things a day where I'd be like, fuck that, that ain't worth it. That's my main problem, by the way, with the whole defund the police idea. What about people that want to commit suicide by cop? What about them? Anyway, we'll put a pin in that, but... We had a lot of protests in New York, and now we have protesters that just live here. They're not at a protest, they're just here. I saw a protester in Washington Square Park. She had green hair and dirty legs. And she's holding a little piece of cardboard, and it's with a Sharpie. It said, "Abolish billionaires." And she's standing there. And I thought, I don't think that's gonna do it. It doesn't feel like that's gonna result in Jeff Bezos going, what's happening to me? Sadly, it's gonna be okay for him. I thought it was good how young people got out there and they expressed themselves. They went out there to solve a lot of problems. Not all of the problems, but some of them. They went out there to stop discrimination. Not all discrimination, just some of it, which is a weird form of discrimination. But there are groups that are discriminated against who don't have any protesters or any people working for them. And we all discriminate against these people, like ugly people. Everybody discriminates against ugly people. They do, and it's awful. I mean, I'd rather be discriminated against for my race than for being ugly. Because you might not lose a job or a promotion, but nobody kisses you on the lips like your whole fucking life. Like, try that. This is what we say to ugly people. We don't like your face. We just don't like it. So no one's gonna fall in love with you, and it's unanimous. Sorry. And we just expect ugly people to be like, oh, no, I understand. I mean, sure. My head shape is no good for you, so I'll go without the things that matter in life. Also, overweight people. Overweight people deal with things that none of us deal with, because I'm not overweight. There's people who are discriminated against because of their weight. I read a story once about a woman who's 600 pounds, and she couldn't get medical care. Because everything she goes to the doctor, he just says it's because she's fat, everything. She's like, my knees hurt. He's like, yeah, my knees hurt just looking at you. What did you think was gonna happen? She's like, I have chest pains. He says, yeah, because your organs are over capacity, so they're hurting. She's like, I got shot in the head. He's like, yeah, because you're fucking fat. Somebody shot you in the fucking head because you're fat. It's a terrible story. Here's the worst part of the story, and this is true. This is true. She needed an MRI because she had something serious. She's 600 pounds. She doesn't fit in the machine. You know what they did? They sent her to the zoo. I'm not kidding. They sent her to the fucking zoo. That's what we do for fat people who need an MRI. Hey, here's your prescription. Go to the zoo. Yeah, that's where you should go. You should go to the zoo. By the way, you know how many fat people we have in this country? About 600 trillion billion thousands of them. You know how many trans people there are? About 38. But if you're trans and you need a restroom and it's awkward, we'll change every restroom. But if you're fat and you need an MRI, you go to the zoo, you fat bitch. Just go to the zoo. You go experience that today. What happens when she gets to the zoo? What actually fucking happens when she arrives at the zoo? Hi. Are you here to see the monkeys? No, I'm here for an MRI. Oh, shit. All right. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay, just stand in the straw over here. Yeah. You're after the walrus who has lymphoma. By the way, why is there an MRI machine at the fucking zoo? Who was developing that instead of a fat human being MRI? Who's paying for this shit? You don't give an elephant a fucking magnetic resonance image test. What are you, fucking high? That's obscene. If an elephant is sick, you just listen. You do this thing. Misa thinks she's gonna die today. I'm saying this out of respect for elephants, by the way, because we're supposed to respect how they live. They don't fucking cure their diseases. This is not their culture. This is our weird. Let's fix it. Oh, he's sick. That's not how elephants live. An elephant in the Serengeti isn't like, I have a lump, I have to see my oncologist. When an elephant gets cancer, he falls over and he takes his fucking turn and becomes food. You don't put an elephant in a state-of-the-art... What if you find cancer? What, are you gonna give him chemotherapy? The skinny elephant with a pink baseball hat?
Each day is a gift. I worry about getting old only because I don't want to lose my memory, you know? I mean, some of it I would love to lose. But it doesn't work that way. You gotta take it all or none, I guess. But I forget things, you know? Like, remember Fonzie from Happy Days? I don't remember him. I don't even know what you're talking about. I forget weird things, you know? Like, I was walking down the street once in New York, and there was a guy in a van, and he rolled down the window and he said, "Hey, get in the van and suck my dick." And I said, "All right," you know? So I got in the van and, you know, I was trying to pull the door, the sliding door, but it kept, and he's like, "It just shuts, you don't have to." I was like, "Sorry." He's like, "Everybody does that, it's okay." So I'm kneeling on the floor of the van on like a purse, and there's no lady in there, but I'm like, I came here to suck this guy's dick, not like take inventory. Let's just get to work. So I start sucking his dick, and about halfway through, I'm guessing, I remembered that I don't really like doing that. So, senior moment. So how have you all been enjoying living the way I already was for a couple of years before all this shit? Welcome to my life. Can't work, can't go outside, can't show your face, gotta wash your groceries. Because I got cum on the groceries. That's why in my mind, that's what it means. Maybe that's what you were thinking, but. I have a solution for the pandemic, by the way, for COVID. I have it. This is it. We test everybody, first of all. Every time we find somebody who has COVID, you kill them. That's it. That's the solution. You won't need another one after that one. That's the final one. It's been pretty amazing to be alive during this thing, during COVID, because you're not going to see this again. And wow, did we learn some shit. That's really the things that teach you in life are things you never would have chosen to do for yourself. I mean, think about your life as far as it's been where you have the choices, where you're like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to pursue this. It all goes to shit, every bit of it. And even when it goes right, you're like, why don't I like it? It's what I wanted, but why don't I like it? Because it's your choice, and your choices are based on fear and fucking just thin, stupid, shitty hopes. But when life just kicks you in the balls and you're like, oh, fuck, everything's different now, and it shows you shit you wouldn't have looked at otherwise. That's the great joy in it. And what I thought was really interesting about COVID, and still is that it's the first thing I've seen where everyone on Earth had the same problem. Every human being on Earth had the same problem. We never had that before. That's why we don't give a shit about each other. Because you read like, oh, there's floods in Houston. You're like, fucking water, what is it? What's your problem? Floods. What is that? Just walk like this. What, you can't handle some water? My basement floods, what the fuck? Who gives a shit? Like, he's on a canoe in the street. That looks like fun. Why is that an issue? There's fires in California. What? Blow it out. You fucking blow out a fire? Get the water from Houston and dump it on California. Fucking deal with it. But we all had the same problem. Every person from Zimbabwe to Tokyo to Newark to Honolulu, everybody was doing the same dumb shit. Every person had the same stupid fucking moment at the same, just trying to get the mask out of the well of your car door. Trying to, I gotta go in Walgreens. Where's my fucking mask? You try to, it's got pistachio shells in it and pennies. Shit. I'm sure it's still effective. I actually like the masks because everybody looked nice. Everybody did. Because it's just their eyes. Eyes are nice.
You never hear somebody say, that guy's got gross eyes. It's really, we should hide these. We should keep the masks, because this is disgusting. How do we just, with no shame, look inside my face? Spit and a tongue and teeth? It's fucking gross. Cover your mouth. Don't. I'd rather look at your asshole than your mouth. I really would. I'd rather stare into your asshole than glance at your mouth. Assholes aren't that bad, not to look at. We don't like to think about assholes because, like, they're, you know, the shit and the farts and the diarrhea. But that's a small portion of their time. You ever really look at an asshole? You ever really look? Once you see it, like, in nature, it's just a little. That's all. That's your asshole. It's like, you know what it is? It's just an aperture. That's all it is. That's your asshole. It's like a camera shutter. That's all it is. It's like the opening to the James Bond movies. That's what your asshole is. You ever go to lick somebody's asshole and there's a little guy with a gun in there? It was bad. I love animals, I do. I do. We have a weird relationship to animals. We name them and we play with them and we kill them and we eat them and we stuff them and we draw them. I have a dog. I love my dog, but I don't know my dog. We've never had a conversation, not one time. I talk and she just hears She looks at me and I'm like, yes. She's like, what? You don't know what the fuck I'm thinking. Fuck you. I don't know this bitch. I have no idea what she's thinking. I really wish I did. I wish I knew what she was thinking. It's my biggest wish maybe in life is that I knew, because I know she has thoughts. I know she does. There's no way she's just like, dog. There's stuff going on in here. I've seen it. You ever watch your dog make a decision? You ever watch your dog just walk in the room and then look around like... Yeah, I'm gonna go over here. Why? Please tell me why. I think my dog thinks I'm insane. Because I look at my life through her eyes. Like, I'll watch TV for 4 hours. And from my dog's point of view, I'm just sitting there. Why the fuck is he laughing? What happened? My dog is my life now because my kids are growing up. My kids are in college and they're all, you know, I'm an empty nester. That's what you call it when your kids are gone, because they grew up, not if they're dead. It's not used that way. My daughter died of leukemia. Hey, you're an empty nester. I miss it. I miss having little kids. I think about it all the time. I think about it maybe adopting, you know? I could adopt a baby from a third world country. That's a good thing to do, because you can just leave them outside. You don't have to... You know, it's interesting. We've been adopting babies from other countries in America for a long time. You know, other countries do it too, but I live here, so I'll talk about that. But it's an interesting thing. It's not a biological imperative to go get a baby from thousands of miles away, but we've been doing that in large numbers here for a long time. And not always for the same reasons. There's been different reasons why we've done it. In the early, like in the 70s when I grew up, sometimes you meet a couple who had an African baby that they brought because they're those kind of, you know, these kinds of people, you know. The kind of couples that hold hands when they announce things. You know those kind of people? They gather their friends and they're like, we've decided. You know those? They have a farm table with a clay pot of honey on it. And their apple juice is cloudy. You know what I'm talking about? Those are the kind of people that make a trip to Zimbabwe and get a baby and name him Kevin and send him to Boston College, whatever. That was like the 70s and 80s. Then in the 90s, it became very popular with gay couples started to adopt babies from China because they want to have a baby, but they can't. They both have dicks. I don't know if you know that. Did you know that? Gay couples have 2 dicks. So they can't make a baby. You can try. You can just really fucking... You could try to come into one dick with the other. Like, if you line up the dick holes, and you can come and the sperm goes up this dick and down that one. And then the sperm gets to the balls and they're like, wait, what the fuck? Did we turn around? Because we're in the balls again. Whose balls are these? These aren't even his balls. Oh, he's gay. Fuck. All right. Okay. All right. Well, just swim around till we're dead. It's just the way it is. You're not gonna... A baby will never come out of a penis. It's good. It's a good thing. Because it's hard for women. Imagine pushing a whole baby out of your penis dick hole. Even just a hand. Yeah. Anyway, so that's why gay couples adopt. That's why. And often from China, because they make a lot of stuff there. So that was that. That was the gay couples were adopting Chinese babies because they couldn't have babies, and then a lot of other couples started doing it more around the turn of the century. I used to live in Hollywood, which is a pretty awful place, and everybody there gets Chinese babies. It's very popular. They go and it's not because they can't have babies, and it's not because they're trying to help somebody from far away. It's because they're just busy. They're busy. They want to have a baby, but they don't want to have a baby. You know what I mean? That thing where you can't have your baby and eat it too, or whatever. I don't know how that works. They don't want to get pregnant, is the point. So they go to China. They don't even go to China. They go to the airport, and somebody from China meets them, gives them a baby. It's true. They just take it home, and then they get a Jamaican nanny to watch their Chinese baby. And they go to cocktail parties. We have a Chinese baby. It's amazing. And meanwhile, the Chinese baby and the Jamaican nanny are just alone looking at each other like, what are we doing? What is it? What is this? Why can't either of us see our families? Why? What the fuck is the point of this?
I'll tell you this story about one time that I thought I was going to die. I think it's the only time where I thought, why wouldn't this be when I die? I was on a plane. I've been on a lot of planes and a lot of shitty weather and stuff, but this shit was fucked up. I was in Indianapolis on a plane, waiting to take off, and we're sitting there, and the pilot comes on, and he says, "Hi, folks, the fuel gauge is broken, so we're waiting for maintenance." So we wait, about 20 minutes. Then he comes back on, "Folks, the fuel gauge is still broken, but we're gonna go anyway. We know how much fuel we have, and we feel confident it'll be okay, so we're gonna go." And I'm thinking, okay, well, he's a pilot. I'm sure he's going by some manual that says, if the fuel gauge breaks, call maintenance. If they're not there in 20 minutes, fuck it. Fuel gauges are overrated, just go, you're fine. Just top it off and remember what happened. So then we still don't take off. And the guy comes back on. Folks, we have another problem. LaGuardia Airport in New York won't give us clearance to take off because the weather's been bad there intermittently. So we're going to wait for that. So we wait 20 minutes. Then he comes back on. Folks, LaGuardia still hasn't given us clearance. But we're going to go anyway. We're looking at the radar. We think the weather will be fine. So what we're going to do is say that our destination is Philadelphia. We'll get clearance to go there. Halfway to Philadelphia, we'll switch course to LaGuardia Airport. We'll be there in a few minutes. I swear to God he said this. First of all, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to be honest with the dude in the tower. Like, does the dude in the tower have to go, really? You're going to come on? Tell me where you're going. And why is he telling us this shit? Am I going to have to corroborate this lie if we get pulled over by the sky police at some point in the flight? Oh, no, we're totally going to Philly. I got a brother there, and we got a thing in Philly. But I'm still fine with it because we're travelers on the plane. Yeah, I got a thing. Fuck it. I'm immortal. Just go, please. Yes. Go into marginal weather with shoddy equipment secretly. I totally support this plan. So, we take off. We get above where we are right now. And it's just a black motherfucker of a cloud. It's just like the Wizard of Oz. It's just, there's trees throwing apples at us. It's crazy. It's just horrible. And we're the whole flight, and we're making these circles. And me and the guy next to me are both listening to the tower. You know how you can plug into your seat sometimes, and you can listen to the tower talk to the area airplanes. And we keep hearing our guy trying to get clearance to land from LaGuardia.
This is Delta 288 requesting clearance to land. It's a negative 288. Low visibility.
A few minutes go by.
This is Delta 288. We would really like clearance to land. Yeah, that's a negative 288.
Like he was getting annoyed. And meanwhile, we're just circling and burning this vague amount of fuel. We could just stop being an airplane at any second. And then we hear this. This is all true. The LaGuardia guy comes.
It's LaGuardia Airport to all area airplanes. We are closed for the night. Zero visibility. Not safe for landing. Please divert to Philadelphia or Allentown, Pennsylvania, or Boston.
And then we hear our guy.
This is Delta 20. We need to land now. We have no fuel. We have to land right now.
Interesting. Then there's a pause, and then we hear this.
Well, then clear to land, then 280. That's how he said it. Like, dude, no one can see, okay? But just, I guess all the dumb decisions you made today have made this a good one. Just take a shot. I'm going home. Just fucking turn the lights off after you crash. I don't give a shit, frankly. By the way, you're not supposed to be here, you fucking liar. You said you were going to Philly.
So as soon as we get clearance, we just like we start bulleting. We're either flying desperately towards the ground or falling. I don't know that there's a difference. We come out of the clouds, and there's the fucking Earth right fucking there. It's right there. That's what low visibility means. We come out of the clouds, and no, fuck, it's right there, Jesus! And the plane just... And you can feel the plane go, oh, fuck, I can't do that. What are you, nuts? And we go and veer over the highway, and I swear to God, I saw people in their cars go, what the fuck? And we hit the runway like sideways, like poof. And the pilot comes back on, all true, I swear to God, he's totally out of breath. He's like,
Welcome to LaGuardia Airport, New York City. You may turn on your cell phones now, and you may call your loved ones.
He said that. He said you may call your loved ones. And everybody on the plane was crying and rocking back and forth, just sobbing, calling their husbands and their wives. I'm divorced. What am I going to, hi, remember you hate me? Well, I almost died. And I got in a cab, and the cab driver goes, that was a very bad landing. I was like, how'd you know that was me? He's like, that's the only plane to land in 4 hours. We all watched the drivers, we said, that are going to die. You know, it's a lot of work having kids, especially now, as opposed to the past. Because in the past, you just had your kids and they just did their thing and you did your thing. That's what it was like for me. I'm amazed at that now. Because I have a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old. My oldest daughter is 8 years old. And when I was 8, my mother, she would go to work and I'd go to school. We were like roommates. There was no... She'd just go, see you later. Maybe I'll have a child when I get home from work. I don't know. I would go to school and then I would just wander around town. And I would do weird shit. I used to go to the store and steal tampons. I got on this weird thing where I stole tampons every day. And I never got caught. I mean, the guy probably saw me, but he's like, I'm not confronting the kid who steals tampons. I did a lot of weird shit when I was a kid. I showed my penis to a girl with Down syndrome that lived down the street. I did that. Go ahead and judge me. I was 9. I mean, I'm still the guy who did it, but